All right, breathe with me, would ya? Breathe with me. Take a big motherfucking breath in. Big breath out. Big breath in. Fill up. Big breath out. Let it fucking go. Beautiful. Just for a moment, allowing yourself a moment, a breath between all that moves, right? We so easily move from one thing to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing, without even properly picking our head up, either physically or energetically. Oh, it's the pause between. It's the place where all the juice is, where all the magic is, where you get to collect your energy and collect your feelings and collect for a moment where you are. And it doesn't have to be complicated. None of it really is. And part of today's message is about how we live extraordinary lives. And I guess the first question is always, is this something you desire? Is this something you want? Not that there's anything wrong with ordinary or life that is not extraordinary, because in some sense, all of our lives are. It just depends on who's looking at what. But for those of you who really want to live your purpose and fulfill your destiny, if that sounds too woo-woo, then just feeling like you have completed what you were meant to do on this life, that there's a sense of fulfillment, not only at the end of the day, but at the end of each moment in between, where you can really understand where you are in your story and not just feel like your day to day is you responding to life around you. And one of those pieces of living an extraordinary life is doing ordinary things. It's just so simple, and it's nothing wild or crazy or out there. It's literally showing up for yourself on the day to day. It's brushing your teeth, brushing your hair, taking showers, asking for your system to be cleansed and cleared. It's just these fine-tuning things that feel so ordinary in the moments. But when you have a lot of these, quote, ordinary things building up over time, you begin to create a relationship with the parts of you that can do hard things, that can be disciplined and be devoted to the moment and the action in the moment, not just whatever feels good. Because feeling good is an amazing barometer for a lot of things, but sometimes doing the hard thing in the beginning, like especially the first few moments, doesn't feel good necessarily. But what feels good is something that comes during that action, or even at the end of it, or even at the end of a lot of time of doing it. And the more that we can practice these little actions of discipline and devotion in these different areas of our lives, the more we allow ourselves to actually have a relationship with our creative side, our feminine side, our flowy side, the parts of us that start to trust us more because they're balanced and set free by the structure, by the discipline, by the devotion. And so seeing and feeling this mix within yourself. So if you want to close your eyes, my eyes have been closed this whole time because this is what this transmission wanted. But if you go ahead and close your eyes again and imagine just feeling into your body for a moment, and feeling into imagining splitting your body down the center, not separating it, just imagine a line down the center from the center of your crown and your third eye and nose and lips and neck and center line of the body. And imagine the left side of the body very in movement and flowing and moving and like water moving through, almost like a river. And the right side of you very still. Maybe a couple planks of wood, if you will. Beautiful. And just feeling that obviously these different parts of us live everywhere in our bodies, but just to feel the difference, the polarities and how they work together, right? So feeling in the right hand, almost like still energy, and feeling in the left hand, moving energy. and start to feel those energies in your palms. And then if you can bring your palms together and almost bring them as if they're kind of sharing these two energies into one ball of energy. And you can just kind of see that it actually clicks into its own rhythm, its own current, if you will. And it's its own frequency. It's its own thing. It's alive now. And just that everything is energy, and this is how things work. So returning to this feeling of doing ordinary things, for lack of a better word, to live an extraordinary life. And in my belief system and in my mindset, everything is mindset. It really is the difference of someone and what they think and what stories they're plugged into and what beliefs they hold about themselves and about the world. And that's your mindset, and that's how you see things. So you could look at someone's life from the outside and say, that's kind of a boring life. I wouldn't want that life. That's, quote, ordinary. But if you meet the person inside that home and you have a conversation with them, you would get to know something different about their situation, what they see about their situation from themselves. And so one of the powerful things that we can do is really start to curate our thoughts and therefore our beliefs about life. And this does all root back to this fundamental piece of doing these ordinary things every single day. And so for the last 3 weeks now, I've been doing 100 abs a day and dancing to 5 songs. I have an accountability group that is the group that I text every day that I've done it. And they're also doing things in this month and sending what their updates are. And I can't even fully understand how much that devotion and that discipline to these two simple actions has radically shifted the way I view myself, the way I view the world, how I view how I can do things or not. And it's almost as if I'm just synced now. I'm aligned. And I feel this feeling of when we go to sleep or when we kind of, go into the ethers, we kind of like float out and open. And then our actions on the daily bring us back into sync. And that's why you wake up, and that's why most people have a morning practice, because there is something about rooting the day. You know, they say, win the morning, win the day. Well, there's a lot of truth to that. So, okay, I'm here now. My eyes are open. But yes. Thank you for being here. Thank you for receiving this. So, doing ordinary things to create an extraordinary life. Doing the daily building blocks of things that create a momentum and a rhythm and a wave of energy that creates you and allows you to live an extraordinary life. Which is, to me, magic, right? Like, it's miraculous to wake up and to feel like you're tuned into an energy, into something that is greater than just survival and following what everyone else is doing. I also don't believe that we're meant to know everything or see everything in any given moment. It's like, imagine a morning when it's really foggy outside and maybe you're driving, maybe you're walking, but as you move into the fog, you can't see beyond a certain, 5 feet, let's say. So you do know to, what the next sign is that comes up on the road that says 50 miles an hour or next exit is 2 miles away. You receive that, but you don't see beyond that. And sometimes we see the vision, sometimes we have the long vision and can see that. And a lot of the times we don't. And a lot of the times we're not meant to. And a lot of the times, and most of the times, it is even better than what we could even fathom in our sweet little minds and our sweet little visualizations that we do. And it's meant to be. This world and this life is truly magic. Like, how are we even here? How are there even trees? And how does it work that this tree outside that never gets watered outside of natural rain every season blooms and then falls its leaves down and then looks like it's dead for a few months and then blooms and then shines and then releases? Like, what? And then we can drive cars around while we're on this earth, just like driving it all around this earth, and we can, get in an airplane and fly places. Like, this life is extraordinary. It's absolutely extraordinary. I'm making a video in Canada while you're sitting somewhere else in the world, and that's just the way things are right now. So why not use all these skills and gifts? Why not share our stories and speak what it is that our little corner of life wants to say, whether that's through words or painting or who you be in the world? And that's amazing too. So what if in this moment you've already arrived? You're fucking here. You're on Earth. Like, good job. And I do believe that so much of it all now is about really unlocking and following what is your joy. And it's a feeling inside of you. And it sometimes doesn't make sense. And I know I say this a lot, but it's because the best things in life don't make sense. Like, they just don't. You don't know how you met that person at that time. You don't know how you, of all people, got that apartment. Like, it's just wild, right? It's wildly beautiful. And I leave you with this piece of, I think it's Albert Einstein. Andy always finds the best videos and reminds me of so many magical things. But I think it's Albert Einstein who says, the most important question you can ask yourself is, do I believe I live in a friendly or an unfriendly universe? And this goes back to all the pieces. This goes back to mindset. This goes back to everything. But this is a really key piece because it's the foundational interpretation of and belief of what you think life is. Is it fair or unfair? Is it friendly or unfriendly? Is there kindness here or not? So if you're someone who always believes, I always get a parking spot wherever I'm meant to go, that's living in a friendly universe. And sometimes it's hard to trust, right? But that is a commitment. If you believe that life is hard and things always happen to you and it never goes your way and you never get heard, you are innately believing that you live in an unfriendly universe. And it doesn't mean that it's something that you have created within yourself necessarily. It could be an inherited belief based on your experience in childhood or life. But if you have the awareness of, I actually don't believe I live in a friendly universe, it then can allow you to see it in the moments that it's happening and change it. And just for one moment say, well, what happens if I do live in a friendly universe? Like, what happens if the person who said they would mow my lawn really does come over and mow my lawn for me? Not that people never show up for me. And so I know there's a lot more beliefs in some of the stuff I'm saying because a lot of it can be personal and a lot of it is about worthiness or being lovable or not. But the foundational thing in your experience and your belief of life, is it friendly or unfriendly to you? And you might feel different things in different moments, but if you can really attune yourself back to that fucking truth that I believe that we live in a friendly universe, there is a force there. There is power there. There is a relationship there that you don't need to tell anybody about. You can stand up for it and you can, be the voice of that in any moment you want. But this is really about your relationship with it and nobody else's. So play around with it for the week. Play around with choosing to live in a friendly universe. And play around with all the different energies of you, devoting yourself. If you want to do 100 abs a day and dance and really devote yourself to that masculine energy, do it and see what happens both to that side of you and the feminine flowy side. And if you want to live an extraordinary life, keep doing the ordinary things and keep believing in a friendly universe. Just try all of it on, whatever's resonating. And if it's not, then don't, because that's not the point. Follow what's resonating and true for you, or where there's a little curiosity, So thanks for being here. Thanks for tuning in. I love posting videos here. If you have any topics or questions that you want me to go into, I'm a responder in human design, so I basically wait for nudges from angels or my intuition to share, but I would love to respond to a question or a topic or, anything you're moving through, moving with. I just trust and know that you're here for a reason, and we're going through planetary shifts, and it's an incredibly alive time to be alive, right? So Blessings to all of you, beautiful, beautiful. I guess I end every video with a song, 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 song.